I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm not even supposed to be here today! Oh, fuck you!
Come on, you want me to drive? You're supposed to be suicidal. Remember, I'll
Anybody
drive.
a drive?
Get in the car.
Fuck me in the ass. Fuck you, you fucking stupid cunt.
Hey everyone, it's Don J. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for last weekend's newest release, the newest Apple Originals film release, and the newest film from Christopher McQuarrie, and the newest film starring Brad Pitt, Formula One the movie, or for short, F1 the movie. Because it's a movie about really Formula One racing. But, yeah. So what is the plot of Formula One, the movie? So, Sonny Hayes had a nasty incident that almost ended his career, and so he's retired from Formula One and now races a Porsche. But when an opportunity comes from the owner of a struggling team, Sonny makes a return to Formula One racing alongside a new rookie teammate, but he realizes he can't take the road to redemption on his own. Yeah, so that's pretty much the plot of this whole 155-minute long movie about a former Formula One racer working with a new recruit. Yeah, so as for my reaction, I will say, what I know is that he's directed a few Mission Impossible films, and I think the one I'm most familiar with he directed recently, a few years ago, was Top Gun Maverick, and I liked that movie. Not sure how I felt about this film, though, because as much as I also like Brad Pitt as an actor, because especially with some newer stuff, like I liked him in Bullet Train, I do like him as an actor, a lot of stuff. Liked him in Seven, liked him in Fight Club, liked his voice acting in Megamind. I liked him in the film Troy. I enjoy him as an actor. But I just did not know what to think about this film because, first things first, with a few exceptions like Warfare, Sinners, The Day the Earth Blew Up, 28 Years Later, The Life of Chuck, and Novocaine, this has just been a shitty year for movies. It's a shitty year for movies and blockbusters in general. We've had shit like Snow White, Woman in the Yard, the How to Train Your Dragon remake. Yes, I did not like that movie. And cute people are going to get angry at me for saying that. Like, what? That was a great movie. I did not. It was all that was just a shot-for-shot remake of the same exact film. There was nothing new to it. Minecraft, we had a boring send-off to Mission Impossible that kicked off the summer season. And two, I'm not really a big racing movie fan. I mean, I did like Speed Racer, and I didn't mind Gran Turismo, but I'm just not... The car racing genre, that's just not much of a thing for me. And I'm not too familiar with Formula One racing either, because I don't really watch Formula One racing on TV. So racing is just not my cup of tea. So I didn't know about this. But today I went to go see this, and I would say this was quite a surprise. I actually ended up really liking this film. I saw this in IMAX, and I think the IMAX trip was worth it. And it's just a shame that this is an Apple original film, so it might not even get a DVD release because, like, Killers of the Flower Moon hasn't even got... I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon get a DVD release because of that, but... because I think this was a great film. So, how was Formula One the movie made? Well, around December 2021, a bidding war for an untitled film starring Brad Pitt and producer Jerry Bruckheimer, director Joseph Kosinski. Oh wait, actually, it was directed by Joseph Kosinski, not Christopher McQuarrie. I mixed them up. And screenwriter Eric Kruger, they'd worked on Top Gun Maverick, And of course, like F1, the sources that said F1 driver Lewis Hamilton was involved in the film, but then studios involved in the bidding war were also Paramount, MGM, Sony, Universal, Disney even, and some streaming platforms like Netflix, Apple, and Amazon. And Pitt got paid $30 million for his involvement, and the FIA, the body of Formula One, collaborated with the production as well. Like, racing sequences were adapted from footage of real 2023 and 2024 World Championships. So real-life F1 teams and drivers appear throughout. And Lewis Hamilton does appear, and he was also a producer. So I like that they got people involved in Formula One racing involved in making the film. Because I guess that is an important thing to do with racing movies. Like, actually do get some, like, experience right there. And so after the film was officially shot and marketed, F1 or Formula One would premiere at Radio City Music Hall in New York City on June 16, 2025, and was released in the United States by Warner Bros. On June 27th. And when it came out, the film got positive reviews from critics, had almost grossed nearly $200 million worldwide so far, against a $200 to $300 million budget. Now, let's get into why I liked Formula One. So, for the good qualities in the story. Yeah, I know I said it. I'm not a fan of Formula One, so I'm not too familiar with stuff like how, rules or how the races go. So, for those who are familiar with, tell me in the comments down below. Sure, maybe some rules probably are broken here, but this is just a movie, though. It's meant to be like a movie story. Like, this is for entertainment. This is not for realism. And it is definitely entertaining. Like, I really like seeing Brad Pitt back in, like, the whole laid-back character roles that he's known for playing. Like, the story is very simple. It is kind of an underdog redemption story, but it's incredibly thrilling and fun. And Joseph Kosinski's direction is perfect for the world. He keeps the story tight, the visuals are stunning, he doesn't lose the emotional core at all, like, especially from what he learned from making Top Gun Maverick here really shows. It's still right here, like, he knows how to shoot speed, and the camera work during the racing scenes is excellent, and it feels like you're on the track, especially if you see this in IMAX. The cinematography is slick and it's not overdone. And Hans Zimmer's music really adds a lot of emotion and tension, like the score with the raw engine sounds. It creates thrilling atmosphere, and the sound design is top class. Like, every turn, every gear shift hits very hard. And of course, now there still weren't elements that were very original, but they were all shot well. And it really feels like you're really in the driver's seat of the Formula One cars for much of the races, and that helps keep the audience members engaged. There's not a lot of explosions, nonsense, because this is a racing movie, so showing from that point of view really does keep the movie interesting, if you're not too familiar with that stuff and want to hope for some explosions, you're not going to get that here, you really just, if you don't keep, some of the stuff I mentioned here, you would just get cars driving around the track, and that wouldn't be that engaging, that wouldn't really be that thrilling, would it? And so before I get into story, guys, I added some action figures in the background. Oh, Cornelius, I almost knocked him freaking over. Cornelius. There you go. Well, close enough, Cornelius, I guess. You saw that's Cornelius. There's obviously Shadow. I wanted to be, better seen, and I'll fix Darth Vader after I film the review, but you have Keaton Batman right there. Unfortunately, it's the Flash figure, but guess what? You want to know what I did when I got that figure? Well, that figure was the only really affordable one on Amazon. And you want to know what I did? I'm just going to pretend it is not the one from The Flash. It's the one from 1989 to 1992 because it looks exactly like him. The suit looks exactly like that. So, to me, it is the Batman 1989. It is not the Flash one. I'm just going to pretend that. I'll just pretend it's that one. It's the actually good Keaton Batman. There's RoboCop, and there's that Turtle, there's Raphael. That came with a Turtles versus Cobra Kai thing. That one is Raphael. You could tell the R on his belt, and Darth Vader's not showing, but whatever. But I put some action figures in the back. I don't need to explain this stuff right here. But so, what is the story of how F1 the movie goes? So, our protagonist of the movie is this aging American racing driver and this former Formula One prodigy named Sonny Hayes, Brad Pitt's character. He lives as a racer for hire, but He did race for Lotus in the 1990s, and the severe injuries from this crash ended his Formula One career. And so then he became a gambling addict and lost 3 marriages. Then he wins the 24 Hours of Daytona, and his former teammate of his named Ruben Cervez, Javier Bardem's character, who owns this Expensify F1 team, he offers a test drive to fill the spare seat, and Ruben discloses that they'll sell the team unless APXGP, the last in the World Constructors Championship, wins one of the 9 remaining Grand Prix of that year. So Sonny reluctantly agrees that Ruben tells him victory will make him the best in the world, and so that is where it all kicks off. Sonny, you yet know who Sonny is. He was a retired racer because of an injury. He races from day to time in some other races. And then eventually Javier Bardem character encounters him at a laundromat, tells him that he can get back into Formula One racing for them. And he reluctantly agrees, and that's where the story starts off. That's our introduction, meeting our protagonist, and soon meeting our other character that's going to enlist him into the movie's goal, in the movie's story, or what the whole goal of the movie is. The path to his redemption. The action in the races is good, and it's clear the team really do care about Formula One and do their best to make it exciting to watch, especially for those that are familiar with Formula One races. And it is corny, but you know what? I liked it was corny. It helps you turn off and just enjoy the ride when you watch this film. Especially when he's still a Pitt playing his classic cool guy personality, and the supporting crew is definitely entertaining as well. And they're definitely nice and they're not overplayed. And the Sonny, the protagonist, he has charm and likability. And his character is crafted to be very relatable and dramatic. But his past, though, does get hinted at, images of this, especially, you see photos of him as this boy that's standing beside his father. There's times when that does feel a little unopened, but maybe they wanted this mystery to happen. Not every story needs to be told full, but there's a mentioning a bit where his father did die, and so that leads to that scene. But it's a symbol for untapped potential if you do that. It's an narrative threat that was just left dangling, and a backstory that really could have added layers to Sonny's journey, but they don't really seem to do it. The sound is also well done. The cars really do come off like rock ships, because this is the guy who directed Top Gun Maverick. So I like they still have that kind of sound right there with the race cars. And races really appear intense and skillful, and you really do feel the tension in them. The racetracks, the uniforms, they look aesthetic incredible. The racing scenes are really, these are definitely made to be watched in a theater. And especially for somebody that has no knowledge about car racing, is not too big on the car racing movie genre as a whole, and the characters are racing, they mention car racing maneuvers or technical details, and they do, and there's plenty of broadcasters in the movie or characters that walk us through with all the dialogue, whenever the races are happening. This is a film where you don't really need to be a fan of professional car racing to enjoy the racing scenes in the movie. And Hans Zimmer really does bring his A game to the score. He immerses us in the world of decision making, the race driver egos, and pit crew goes through. And of course, the action gets captured up close and really lets the viewers know how one would feel to be in the driver's seat of a Formula One car. And the decision to film almost all of it in the real tracks around the world is definitely what makes the film a winner. So, our first race happens, and when Sonny meets our other characters, it's at the Silverstone test, and he meets Principal Kaspar Smolinski, the director Kate McKenna, this British rookie named Joshua Pierce, and they reveal 7 drivers that turned down the opportunity, but Joshua's a little arrogant, though, and some are who is this old asshole on the track, and he worries the sale will result in his replacement with this guy, and he has to trounce his teammates and impress the investors, and of course, and there's the thing, though, there's even one bit at this press conference where one of the audience people there, tells Joshua, "You're not racing against Chuck Jones." So, yeah, you do get some, bit of, kind of funny moments with some of Joshua's family, or Joshua's kind of brother. So, Sonny's during his tests, he struggles with the modern machinery, but then he identifies the weaknesses, and he eventually, though, tries to push the limit, but he crashes, and Casper, though, knows his skill and signs him, though, so then Sonny returns at the British Grand Prix, and the slow pit stops there, they eventually demote the drivers to last after a promising start. Sonny, though, ignores team orders to let Joshua by, and they crash into each other, though. So the first race doesn't go well, but then in Hungary, Sonny then mends with Joshua's relationship with him and exploits F1 rules and collides with other drivers to force safety cars. And then he does help Joshua catch the midfield score 8 GP's main points finish, but Joshua then adopts Sonny's old school training methods and Sonny emulates similar work and persuades Kate to redesign the car for combats. And so like he does kind of, you don't see too much scenes of him kind of all bonding with Joshua, but eventually at one point in the ice bath where after he's kind of berated for the first race, he then gets on the phone Javier Bardem's character and asks him to tell him about the kid, and they go jogging together, and you do kind of start to see a bit of bonding at that moment. And then one day though, there's an Italian Grand Prix where it starts to rain, and he does try to have Joshua remain on slick tires and not really change. But then, of course, though, there's risks there, and they vault Joshua to second. But eventually, though, Sonny tries to tell him to wait for a straight. But Joshua ignores that because he's starting to win and thinking that he can overtake this other racer named Max. And so he ends up hitting a curve, and his car then lights on fire when he flies over the barrier. Sonny rescues Joshua from the fire, but Joshua has to miss the next 3 races because of his injury. And of course, Joshua's mom is furious with Sonny for this at the hospital and warns that he'll be dead if any other deadly stuff happens to her son again. And some do blame Sonny for the whole crash, but when, of course, Joshua then eventually does return, he blames Sonny for the crash as well and wants to defeat him when he returns. From what you're seeing in this movie, it's a refreshing old school Hollywood effort that goes back to the glory days of 90s films. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer and his team really craft this winning big screen offering that provides the audience with the exact type of experience that would be right to them. Especially no other baggage as well. And so you can tell Joseph Kosinski is really following in Tony Scott's footsteps, where he brings the high-tech camera work to the racetrack after the success of Top Gun Maverick and capturing the cutthroat, the nature of Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsports, and highlighting teamwork that's required to keep a car on the grid. And it's really both an entertaining experience and an approachable entry point for filmgoers that are unfamiliar with the sport, and with the plot to be this classic straightforward sports story. It's not something that's trying to chase social media trends or trying to be fashionable. It's not polished to that stuff. Every scene, every turn on the track, and the pit lane, it really goes at a time when victory's not defined by endorsements at all. And so the opening sequence is also a highlight too. It really introduces a soundtrack that complements the roaring sounds of racing cars for the duration, original score, and selection of good tracks as well. It's not remember that Stallone film Driven by Rennie Harlan that was just bad and really just awful? This isn't that. For a while, that was a bad Formula One movie. This is it took some time, but now we finally have an actually good Formula One movie. It's the movie what Driven should have been in the first place. Right there. There's a crash scene of Driven that has, what I do remember, has such shitty green screen effects. Those crash scenes in this were actually realistic. Right here. Why couldn't Driven be done like this movie? Never know. And that was the first bad Rennie Harlan film. So Joshua then has a comeback race called the Belgian Grand Prix, and his aggressive driving then causes a collision with Sonny, and he's out of the race, and it infuriates him. But it's because Joshua is mad at Sonny for thinking that he caused him to get in that crash and wanted to defeat him, as you remember. So you can kind of see the anger of Joshua right there, and so Kay arranges his poker game where the winner gets favorable treatment at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, but Joshua wins though. And Sonny reveals that he actually folded intentionally with a winning hand, obviously to kind of make up for the whole thing. So Kate invites Sonny to her hotel room and they spend the night together, but Ruben then interrupts them because apparently Kate manufactured illegal upgrades to the car, and so this by this anonymous tip, and Kate denies the wrongdoing though, but the FIA demand the removal, and so Sonny is angry by this and gets road rage and ends up crashing, but then you do kind of get a bit of a liar revealed scene right here where Ruben visits Sonny as he's recovering in the hospital, and he learns of his 1993 injuries that permanently impaired him, and so for his own safety, he tells him he's fired to not race ever again. So in a way, like, it's a liar revealed scene, I guess, kind of works because, well, Sonny did kind of try to hide his injuries at that point, and Ruben is firing him because he doesn't want Sonny to die. So it does work here. It is kind of reasonable to have a liar reveal moment right there. It's not a cliched liar reveal moment. It's a liar reveal moment that's a little more subtle, a little more normal. Eventually, though, Sonny runs into this board member named Peter Banning, and it turns out he actually arranged the whole signing and the complaint so he could try to get Ruben fired and sell APXGP. And he says that he's going to promote him if the sale goes through to team principal. And Sonny does kind of agree though, but it's clear that he only agrees because he wants to kind of like expose Ruben the truth. Like, when you have the dynamic between Sonny and Joshua, like the dynamic between them, like it's definitely much like the dynamic between Maverick and Rooster in Top Gun Maverick, but more in the world of motorsport here. And the tension and mutual respect does give the story some real emotional weight right there, especially because it's a film that's definitely built for everyone, for every cinema goer, regardless if they're fans of Formula One or not. The romance subplot with Kate McKenna, that does work pretty well too. It does feel natural, and it does have the evoking charm of Penny Bent. It kind of has a good charm as well, and Kosinski does bring the signature style heart once again. It crafts a movie that not only thrills and honors also honors the legacy of Speed, and the legacy it has itself, and in a way also does kind of like tribute to stuff like, you know, from the older days of George Lucas, because apparently George Lucas did love racing as well. And what does elevate the movie, though, is also the sound. Like, the engine's growling, the tires screeching, the music doesn't really try to over-dominate at all. The sound design really draws without being flashy. The restraint is definitely a theme here that F1, the movie, doesn't also over-glorify its subject and also respects it. And it does skip the heavy, and also it doesn't really too much rely on heavy drama as well. And it focuses on racing that's perfect for Formula One fans as well. Like, yeah, if you're a Formula One fan, you would definitely get a kick out of this film. Even if you weren't, like I've already said, you would like this movie too. Like, it really does feel like all those films in the 90s, you know, the films that just wanted to have an audience to please, you know. They didn't care about trying to be all like the real world. Like, back then, they actually cared about escapism. Like, you see here, like, that's what I really liked about this film. Like, it really felt like those films. It really felt like the old Tony Scott films he always used to make. Like, you remember those movies, man? Like, and also rest in peace, Tony Scott. Like, I wonder if, you know, maybe Joseph Kosinski might end up becoming the new Tony Scott. Like, the Tony Scott of our era. Right there. The guy that can continue on Tony Scott's legacy. Right there. Like, I hope that could be the case here, because it does seem like it's kind of going that kind of route. So, now we get on with the finale of the movie. So, we are now on to our last race, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last race the movie has, which is going to end the season of Formula One for the year. Joshua decides that he needs to be more responsible and disciplined, and then he admits to his mother that the crash was not Sonny's fault, it was his own, because he refused to listen to Sonny's advice, and Sonny tried to warn him not to go through with trying to pass the other racer. And so, Sonny then shows up and then persuades Ruben to letting him race, and actually is declining Peter's offer, like, and it's an epic, and that was a perfect audience satisfying moment, where how he does it is, after he persuades Ruben to let him race, although Ruben reluctantly agrees to do so, and he immediately decides that he sends a text to Peter, giving him literally this, an emoji, the middle finger emoji, and by his way to decline Peter's offer. And that actually does feel like a very satisfying audience moment right there, where he's pretty much like because of Peter's like scams and stuff, and basically almost caused his girlfriend to basically almost be reprimanded for fake illegal parts, and just wanted to, and was greedy as hell. Just a greedy asshole. It's nice to see him get his comeuppance there by Sonny basically declining and giving an FU to his ass. And so the FIA exonerates Kate, and APXGP is able to restore upgrades, and so Joshua then takes the lead by remaining on the worn tires, but then two other racers overtake him, and then a red flag is shown after a struggling Sonny, but then of course collides with George Russell in fourth. And of course, both APXGP drivers have to restart on fresher tires, and so Sonny's able to pass Charles, and he sacrifices his chance of victory, and has Lewis block his overtake instead of Joshua. So Lewis and Joshua then collide in the final lap, and so Sonny's able to have his main victory because the way is clear for him, and is able to block the sale too. And so the APXGP team celebrates a victory, and Ruben joins Sonny at the podium and tells him that they're literally the best in the world, and obviously, Peter is going to be fired after this because the executive tells them, I'll interview if you're even able to have your position next year. Like, yeah, so Peter, like, going to expose Peter's fake complaints, and so Peter's going to be fired. Yeah, like, Peter's going to kiss his job goodbye because it's done. His ass is finished in racing after this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he probably even gets a lawsuit and gets arrested. He faked like a plate. He got those parts removed. Like, he almost costed the team a driver. Likely just so he could buy the whole company. Like, Sonny even knew it. Even Sonny could clearly tell. But so, Toto then offers Joshua the seat at Mercedes, but Joshua declines though, and Sonny and Kate are going to start a relationship, and Joshua congratulates Sonny, but Sonny chooses not to stay on the team, and he goes back to his old lifestyle in the Baja 1000. And during the credit, and like, the racers there see him and like, we don't pay much. Like, I'm not here for the money. And that's how the movie ends. Like, that's how Formula 1 ends. Like, that's right there. Like, Sonny's kind of now had his redemption after the crash. And so he helped the team win. He able to like company stay. And so he now has a new relationship. And he's still continuing his lifestyle. Now competing the Baja 1000. And so Sonny won the Grand Prix. He saved the team and Ruben and Joshua's jobs. And became engaged with Kate. And Peter's position as board member at Jeopardy, and his life is fucked. And his time in Formula 1 is up though, because he goes to Mexico to go to more sports, but he still enjoys himself. And that's what happens in the credits. You see him like racing the Baja 1000 as the credits are rolling. Overall, it was definitely a nice way to end this 155-minute wild racing movie ride for sure. I had a blast watching this. Like, see guys, I don't hate every new release that comes out. I don't hate every blockbuster. I actually have movies I like. I'm not an anti-fun person. Now we get on with the bad qualities of the film. I think the bad qualities of the film are, I mentioned one of them already, it's that scene with the picture of Sonny's dad, like, that doesn't really get touched up on much. And the other issue is that the film does kind of feel a tad bit bloated at times, like, maybe, not sure it needs to be 155 minutes long. Like, maybe 138 minutes could have worked, and, well, there's also two subplots that don't really work out well. Like, there's this subplot with Javier Bardem's character in his company, with board of directors. Like, I don't think you needed that subplot to create some high stakes. Like, it didn't really feel groundbreaking. It didn't really feel like a really high-tension subplot at all. And there's times when Joshua kind of comes off as a little too arrogant at times. Like, maybe Joshua could have had some better character developments. They'll kind of develop him better as a character. And there was a cheesy scene or two, like, something here that probably could have changed, but it was still a fun, well-paced film. So other than those, Formula 1 was very fun to watch. I'm glad this is definitely making money, despite being an Apple original film, because this is quite a blast. Like, this beat Megan 2.0's ass. This got the highest opening weekend for Apple original film. And if you watch the movie, you can see why. Because it's just a wild ride from start to finish. Like, yeah, I'm not a big racing movie fan, like I've already constantly said, but I really enjoyed this. And I hope that I hope this does get a DVD release, physical media release, regardless if it's an Apple film or not. Because it deserves one. It was great from start. It was just a great watch, and it deserves to be seen in theaters. Especially deserves to be seen in IMAX. Like, the IMAX ticket was worth it. If it's something like this, then I'll risk the IMAX ticket. If it's something grand like this, then it's worth it. So in the end, even if it may not get released on physical media because of it being an Apple original film, I still think Formula One is still worth watching and buying regardless. For people familiar with Formula One and want to see a film done like the late Tony Scott would always do his movies, may he rest in peace. And I hope Joseph Kosinski becomes our new generation. Becomes kind of the next Tony Scott, like helps carry on Tony Scott's shoes and legacy. Helps carry on that at this rate. Especially after how great he did with Top Gun Maverick and this now. Anyways, that's it for my review of Formula One. You're going to rank Formula One. Here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you're a fan of Formula One racing, familiar with Formula One racing, and a fan of racing movies in general, then you will get a blast of Formula One the movie. So I would totally watch or buy Formula One the movie for your collection for sure, no doubt. If we're going to rank Formula One the movie, I'm going to give Formula One the movie an 8 out of 10. Alright, there we go, guys. That wraps up my review for Formula One the movie. Now I want in the comments down below what you guys thought about Formula One the movie, whether you love this movie, whether you hated this movie, or this movie just wasn't for you. But yeah, I want to know in the comments down below. Until then, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.